Hand where I can see them. The sharp command sliced through the calm morning air of Harborview Heights. Two officers approached, badges glinting. The taller one, Officer James Knox, pointed toward the woman leaning against her car. You don't belong here. Step away from the vehicle. Captain Victoria Alva didn't flinch. She had parked legally only minutes earlier, sent undercover to observe the 12th Precinct's patrols. Before she could respond, Officer David Reed grabbed her arm and shoved her forward. Knox pressed her against the hood hard enough to make her shoulder crack. You think you can just stand here and watch people's houses? She stayed silent, one hand trembling on the steel. Her silver ring, a Federal Law Enforcement Academy emblem, caught the sun. Her phone buzzed inside her blazer. The name on the screen, Director Thorne. She couldn't reach it. The cuffs bit into her wrists until she felt blood. We're done talking, Knox muttered, forcing her to one knee. Sergeant Arthur Kane's cruiser passed by. He waved slightly and drove on. The world stayed bright. Belle sang. Victoria didn't fight back. She was taking notes. Inside the precinct, hours crawled. She sat cuffed in a metal chair as officers laughed nearby about cleaning the streets. For hours passed before someone asked her name. Victoria Alva, she said softly. They wrote it down without looking up. Behind her calm eyes, a plan was forming. When she finally walked out, the afternoon light burned her bruises. At her hotel, she photographed each mark, clinical and methodical. Then she opened her laptop. A spreadsheet appeared, 180 complaints, most resolved. She scrolled to one name, Sergeant Arthur Kane, the same man who waved, the same man who looked away. She remembered another bright day 24 years earlier. Her brother Eduardo, unarmed, shot by police in the South End. 7 seconds that reshaped her life. Now she had the authority to expose what men like Kane built on silence. She recorded her message, voice steady. Undercover operation, Harborview Heights, 12th Precinct. Unlawful detainment confirmed. Supervisor Kane complicit by omission. Her phone rang again. Thorne, are you all right? He asked. Physically, yes. Professionally? You might want to sit down. Understood, he replied. You know what to do. The next morning, Victoria walked into his office, bruises uncovered. She placed a report on his desk. Your men, she said evenly. Knox, Reed, and Kane. His jaw tightened. You told me to go in blind. Now you see what blindness costs. She left before he could answer. It's time we make Harborview Heights see itself. Across town, Knox sat in a casino parking lot, debt heavy in his pocket. A lone shark flicked a cigarette. End of the week, he warned. Knox nodded hollow. Reed, meanwhile, sat at home, his pregnant wife whispering, if they fire you, what happens to us? He couldn't look at her. I just do what I'm told. That's the problem, she said. At the precinct, Kane polished his retirement plaque. 28 years of silence engraved in gold. Victoria spent that night reviewing internal files. 92 complaints erased from record, all with Kane's approval. She highlighted each one red. The screen glowed like a map of buried truth. You buried them, she whispered, but I'll dig them up. When she returned to her hotel, the door was ajar. Her file scattered, laptop unplugged. On the mirror, back off scrawled in red marker. Calmly, she traced the thread. An anonymous text sent from Reed's precinct tablet. Proof of intimidation. Another line for her file. That night, Knox met the loan shark again. Money or muscle, the man said. You pick. Both, Knox muttered, voice trembling. Across town, Victoria filmed him making an illegal stop. A young black man on a bike, groceries spilling as Knox shoved him against a wall. What's your reasonable suspicion, officer? She asked. Knox turned, startled. Ma'am, step back. Before she could reply, a young officer spoke. She's right, sir. Officer Sophia Mendez, rookie, voice firm. Knox glared. You want to keep your job? Stay quiet. Victoria's eyes met Sophia's. I'll see you soon, she said, walking away. That night, Sophia couldn't sleep. She replayed the scene. Knox's aggression, the woman's control. Something about her felt deliberate. She opened her old folder, her father's whistleblower case, the one that cost him his badge. Maybe the woman from the South, and was fighting the same war. The next day, Sophia met Victoria in a quiet park. The reports are disappearing, Sophia said. Kane says it's system errors, but I've seen the deletions. Victoria nodded. 92 cases. You're the only one asking why. Sophia swallowed hard. My father lost everything for doing this. Then you already know what courage costs, Victoria said gently. They sat in silence, bound by understanding. Later that afternoon, Victoria drove along the 405. The sky was blue, traffic thin. A silver Dodge Charger followed her for miles. Then, impact, metal on metal. Her car spun, slammed into the shoulder. Airbag burst. Dazed but conscious, she recorded everything. Skid marks, debris, timestamp. When patrol arrived, she saw the insignia on their car. 12th Precinct. Kane's jurisdiction. Her hand trembled slightly as she hit record again. The operation had just turned into open war. At the hospital, Victoria refused overnight care. Just a mild concussion and shoulder strain. She'd live. What mattered was the evidence. 2 traffic cameras, 45 witnesses, and liquor store footage showing the Charger waiting for her at the ramp. By nightfall, she had it all archived. Attempted assassination hadn't been on her schedule, but she adapted fast. Whoever sent that car had just revealed how deep the rot went. Back home, Sergeant Knox sat in silence. His wife no longer spoke to him. His daughter's treatments had stalled, and the casino manager kept calling. You either pay, or we collect another way. His hands shook as he poured a drink. She wasn't supposed to be alive, he muttered. Reed, pale beside him, whispered. You said it was just a scare. Knox's glare hardened. You think this is a game? Reformers ruin lives. You follow orders or end up like Mendez's dad. Reed said nothing, guilt closing around his chest. Meanwhile, Kane reviewed messages about leadership changes. 28 years of surviving reforms had made him wary. He called Knox. Stay quiet. No stunts. But the damage was done. Every false report and order he'd signed now sat in Victoria's encrypted folder, waiting for dawn. The next morning, she returned to the precinct in a plain gray blazer. At the evidence locker, she confirmed that several C's body cams had been swapped. She photographed the serial numbers, then walked into Kane's office. Morning, Sergeant. He looked up, startled. Can I help you? You already have, she said, placing a sealed envelope on his desk. Read it tonight. Before he could reply, she left, sunlight following her down the hallway like a witness that by noon. The station buzzed. Knox overheard whispers of a ceremony. Probably promoting one of us. He smirked, though even he didn't believe it. That evening, his wife found the casino bills. You're gambling our daughter's treatment? She cried. He slammed the table. I'm doing what I have to do. She folded the bills. Maybe she's better off without you, she said, walking out. Across town, Reed sat in a bar, staring at the news. Harborview Heights Police Department under federal review. Ceremony tomorrow. He knew it was over. At the precinct, Kane gathered 5 officers. Tomorrow's ceremony is routine. Nothing changes. But Victoria, watching unseen through the glass, knew everything had already changed. That night, Thorne called. Everything ready? Yes, Victoria said. All files uploaded. She thought of Knox's rage, Reed's shame, Kane's greed, Sophia's courage, and her brother Eduardo. The reason she'd joined the force. Ceremony in 24 hours, Thorne said. Then let the truth come out, she whispered. Morning sun streamed through the high windows of the 12th precinct. 120 officers stood in formation. Knox leaned to Reed. She won't file a thing. Kane's got it buried. Kane straightened his tie, pension papers locked in his desk. At 9 sharp, Director Thorne entered. Today marks the end of an era and the beginning of accountability, he began. Knox smirked until Thorne continued. Your new commanding officer, Captain Victoria Alva. The room froze. Victoria stepped through the doors, full dress uniform gleaming. The sound of her heels echoed like judgment. My name is Captain Victoria Alva, she said evenly. As of today, I am your commanding officer. She lifted a folder. What you see here covers 1 week, 4 illegal stops, 3 falsified reports, and 1 attempted assassination. Gasps rippled. Footage appeared on the screen. Knox's illegal stop, his voice cold. You don't belong here. Reed looked sick. Kane turned pale. Thorne stepped forward. Effective immediately, Sergeant Victor Kane is relieved of duty. Officers James Knox and David Reed are placed on administrative leave. Knox shouted, This is a setup. Victoria met his eyes. Would you like to deny it under oath? Your deleted dashcam footage is restored. Knox lunged, but Officer Sophia Mendez stepped in, twisting his arm. Not again, she warned. Thorne raised a hand. Enough. Victoria placed another envelope on the podium. Inside are 92 erased complaints, now reinstated in the federal database. Kane's shoulders sagged. You think you've won? He whispered. She replied, I didn't start this. You did, when you stopped believing right and wrong mattered. Turning to Sophia, she said, You defended a citizen's rights. Effective immediately, you're promoted to senior officer. Then she faced the room. If you wear this badge for justice, I need you. If you wear it for yourself, your time's over. The golden bars on her shoulders glinted beneath the morning light as silence filled the room. An old empire collapsing, and something honest finally beginning.